In this practice, we'll focus on shoulders, specifically rounded shoulders. If you're driving, working on your computer, texting, notice how the shoulder blades draw wide apart. We'll address how to take the heads of the arm bones back, that is, the head of the humerus back, in order to draw the lower parts of the shoulder blades together. You might want to grab your blocks or a rolled towel or blanket, or even a ball will be useful. We'll begin by lying down. Since the block is the most common yoga prop that we use, I'll use 2 blocks. And I like to set the blocks up so that one block is the pillow, and your pillow can be high if you wish, and one block supports the spine. Some people find that the block set up in this way works best for them. I kind of like the block set up in this way, but let's try it the way most people do it. To have one block just at the very bottom of your shoulder blades, where your shoulder blades come in toward one another. Come to lie down, and it'll take just a minute or two to find the right spot. With your knees bent, place the block in that area just below the shoulder blades. Find the right height for your block. If you find that this is just a little bit too high, you can just take the blocks down or use a blanket or a rolled towel. I've taken my feet in Konasana with the feet in a prayer position. Palms are facing up. The heads of the arm bones, the top of the humerus bone is drawing back. You're allowing gravity to do its thing, to take you deeper into the pose. In this part of the practice, we need to just relax. And if you're finding that that spot that you chose is feeling slightly uncomfortable, then by all means shift. If you're finding that the feet in the Supine Konasana pose aren't comfortable, if your knees aren't comfortable, then straighten your legs. Just allow the lower body to just sink to the floor, to be fully supported by the earth. Allow your arms to release. Now take your attention to your breath. You breathe in deep and out long. This is a pose you don't want to rush through. It's an important part of the practice wherein you start to bring your awareness to that area that tends to get very rounded in the spine. Just naturally, there is a rounding of the upper thoracic spine. But over time, we tend to exaggerate this curve. And that can bring on tightness in the neck, a flat neck, a diminished ability to find fullness in the in-breath. So as we open up, just notice how you can find fullness in the area of the upper lungs just because of the form, the alignment that you're in. If the straight legs or the feet in prayer position don't work for you, another position could be to take your feet as wide apart as the mat is and let the inner knees touch each other. This will relax your psoas muscle and allow you to just stay in the pose a little bit longer with greater ease. Stay attuned to the breath. Have a nice softness in the facial muscles. Breathe in deep. And breathe out long. Breathe in deep. Breathe out long. Keep a nice distance between your chin and your chest. Soften your facial muscles. Soften your jaw. And in your own time, make your way to a fetal pose. Roll to your right side. And pause there. Take your blocks away and lie down again. Your legs can be in one of those three postures with your feet together, your legs straight, or your inner knees touching. Now notice the difference. Even without the sensation of the block, even without the lifting quality of the block, you still have that sensation of the lifting quality that the block gave you. Breathe in deep and breathe out long. Breathe in and breathe out long. Come to a fetal position on the right side. So as you roll to your right side, bring your left knee up and find your shin bone. Holding on to the shin bone, roll to your belly, gracefully if possible. Inhale, reach your foot back as you draw your heart forward. Exhale, soften. Again, inhale, rise up. Exhale, draw down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, down. Reach your left arm out. Roll to your left side. Draw your right knee in. Roll to your belly again. Holding on to the right foot. Rise up. Soften down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Place your hands as if you're clawing the mat with the fingertip top position. Draw your elbows forward, so now the elbows are right over the wrists. Inhale, rise up as you're squeezing the lower part of the shoulder blades in toward each other. Exhale, soften. Inhale, rise up through the strength of your back muscles. Lift yourself up. Exhale, soften. Inhale, rise up. Exhale and soften. Lift yourself up to come to a seated pose. In your seated pose, have your fingers directed toward your toes. Press your fingertips down nicely. Lift your chin. Draw your shoulder blades in toward each other. Get this nice fullness in the pose. Exhale, bend your elbows. Draw your elbows in. Notice how drawing the elbows in with bent arms just allows you to just get a little bit more opening. Press down through the base of the index finger to open your chest, to lift your chin slightly, and slowly come out of the pose by bending your elbows again. Draw your elbows in toward each other. Press down through the base of the index finger. Stay there as you come more forward on your sits bones, or lift your pelvis up. Exhale, release your pelvis down. Now, for some of us, that doesn't really work for the wrists. So just keep your pelvis on the floor. You'll be able to get that strong shoulders hugging in toward each other. That action will become that much stronger. We'll do this 2 more times. Place your hands in the position so that the fingers point in the same direction as your toes. Bend your elbows. Hug the elbows in to get this nice opening to the chest. And notice when you do that, all your weight sinks to the area of your wrist. So press down through the base of your index fingers, claw the mat, stay there with a nice lift to the chest. Maybe even lift your pelvis up and exhale. Draw your pelvis down. And here's another tip for your wrists. You can use your blocks, place the blocks as wide as the mat is, and curl your fingers down so that you can get just a little bit more weight at the base of the index fingers. With your knees bent, with your elbows bent, draw your elbows in toward each other. Just get this nice fullness. Inhale, lift your pelvis up. Maybe using the blocks is slightly easier for you. Just check it out for your posture. Exhale and lower your pelvis down to the mat. Let's come to a kneeling position now. Sometimes in the kneeling position, it's really nice to have a little bit of cushion so you can double fold your mat. Tuck your toes under. With your toes tucked under, place your hands to your low back. I like spreading the fingers and just pressing the flesh down. Some people like taking the thumbs to press right close to the SI joint, drawing the pelvis down as well. Your choice, whatever works best for you. Hug the elbows in. Get this nice fullness to the chest. Draw the elbows in toward each other. Look up. Lean back just slightly. And rise up. You might want to use a block. If it feels like the heel is too far away, you've got a little bit more height to go to. So as you take your left hand back to the block or the heel, reach your right arm up, pull from the fingertips back to the shoulders to get the shoulder blades to hug in before reaching the right arm up and over. Inhale and rise up. Take your hands to the low back again. Again, either thumb pressing the flesh down or your fingers pressing the flesh down. Squeeze the elbows in toward each other. Draw back. Rise up. Let's come to the opposite side. Again, using the block or not. Take your right hand back. Reach your left hand forward. Spread your fingers. Take the head of the arm bone back. Reach your arm up and over so that you get this nice fullness. Inhale, rise up. Take your hands to the low back. Now draw your heart just slightly forward. So notice as you draw the heart forward, the tops of the thighs go back. That gives you room to draw from the tailbone down, to lift from the pubic bone to the navel, so that you feel a little bit more space as you draw back slightly toward Uttanasana. Inhale and rise up. So now that we've done one hand on the block or the heel, the other hand on the block or the heel, let's see if we can do two hands on the block or the heels, your choice. So take your hands back to find your heels or the blocks. Take your thighs forward. Open your chest nicely. Look up. Inhale and lift yourself out of the pose. Let's come to lie in the back. As you lie on your back, take your feet once again in that supine Konasana pose. Just allow a nice ease in your breath, a softness in your facial muscles. Breathe in deep. Breathe out long. Slowly straighten your right leg, straighten your left leg. Allow the arms and the legs to release very fully. As you settle your arms and your legs, bring your awareness to your breath. Notice how this short practice to open the upper chest by bringing the heads of the arm bones back, bring the bottom parts of the shoulder blades together. Notice how that shifts your breath. It might feel easier. The ease of finding more fullness, more length, more spaciousness in the breath, in your body. You breathe in deep and out long. You breathe in deep and out long. You enjoy the spaciousness that you feel from these moves. Instead of rounded shoulders, we find this spaciousness in the areas that the upper lungs can just expand to so easily. Breathe in deep and breathe out long. Breathe in deep and breathe out long. Breathe in deep and out long. Slowly bend your knees to plant your feet. Take your arms up and over your head. Invite fullness to your breath. Draw to your right side. Slowly lift yourself up to come to a seated pose. Let's honor the teachings of yoga that allow us to come to our fullest and create an inner body brightness. With your hands in front of your heart, we bow to the teachings. Namaste.